Hello everyone, welcome to the Delhi University MSc Botany Entrance Exam 2019 question paper detailed solution and explanation video. We are dealing here with only the conceptual questions. So let's start with one by one. So also you can download the question paper, the complete question paper from nta.ac.in. You just have to go to downloads, you fill the year, exam type and the paper type, you will get the question paper along with the authentic answer key. So let's start with the question. Which of the following is not true about the classic experiment carried out to study the nature of mutations by the 1969 Nobel Prize winning team of Max Luria and Salvador Delbruck? So the answer here is equal number of T1 phage resistant colonies were obtained in all the plates. This is the wrong answer because they got a very random number of T1 phage resistant colonies were on the plates. It was irregular number. Some plates were having more, some plates were having less. So let's deal with their experiment. So Luria-Delbruck experiment was conducted in 1943 and they got 1969 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for this. Their experiment was also called as the fluctuation test. They demonstrated that in bacteria, genetic mutation arise in the absence of selection rather than being a response to selection, Darwin's theory of natural selection. So Luria and Delbruck plated E. coli cultured in separate tube. Then they plated equal volume of these separate cultures onto agar containing the T1 phage, that is virus. They expected that if resistance in bacteria will be due to induced pressure of T1 and not already inherited prior to encounter with T1, then each plate will roughly have the same number of resistant colonies. Instead, they found that the number of resistant colony on each plate varied drastically. So here they have cleared it. The number of colonies were not regular, they varied drastically, concluding that mutations in bacteria, as in other organisms, are random rather than directed. Next question, which one of the following statement about cDNA libraries is not correct? So the not correct statement here is that they are generally composed of larger fragment as compared to genomic DNA libraries. This is wrong statement because cDNA is made up of transcribed mRNA formed after processing and splicing of introns and other junk elements. So of course a cDNA will in most cases be shorter than genomic DNA. Next question, which one of the following statement is false for a population that is under selection? The correct answer here is that the genotype frequency can be estimated if the allele frequency are known. This is the wrong statement because under natural selection the allele frequency changes, often quite rapidly. If it is directional selection, it will lead to the loss of all the alleles unless one allele is dominant. In that case, recessive allele can survive at low frequencies. Also, some form of natural selection such as balancing selection lead to equilibrium with loss of allele without loss of alleles. In both the cases, the allele frequency fluctuates and hence genotypic frequency cannot be directly estimated from it. In this question, I will also like to suggest the 7 assumptions underlying the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. These assumptions were that organisms are diploid, only sexual reproduction occurs, generations are non-overlapping mating is random, population size is infinitely large, allele frequency are equal in the sexes, there is no migration, gene flow, admixture, mutation or selection. Next question, which one of the following crops was the first to have its nuclear genome sequenced? So answer is rice. Important thing is, please note that the question is asking about crop and not the plant. First crop to be genome sequenced is rice, while the first plant to be genome sequenced was Arabidopsis thaliana. This is a model plant often used in molecular biology laboratory. Which one of the following is considered to be a signal metabolite that regulate the partitioning between sucrose and starch synthesis? So answer is fructose 2,6 biphosphate. Uh, Fructose 2,6 biphosphate, that is a cellular signaling molecule found in all eukaryotes. Fructose 2,6 biphosphates regulate a single step in cytosolic metabolism, the interconversion of fructose 6 phosphate and fructose 1,6 biphosphate. This is a key junction in the highway of cellular carbon flow. In plants, the fructose 6 biphosphate coordinate the photosynthetic carbon flux into sucrose and starch biosynthesis. So for if you want a detailed explanation, because this question need a lot of detailed explanation, for detail just google fructose 2,6 biphosphate, a traffic signal in plant metabolism. You will get a paper by Nielsen et al, and this paper has a very good diagram You will just by seeing the diagram, you will understand why they are calling it as a signal metabolite that regulate the partitioning between sucrose and starch synthesis. Next question, which one of the following gene does not confer resistance to a herbicide? The answer is NPT2, which is stands for neomycin phosphotransferase. Others genes confer resistance to antibiotic to herbicide. The ALS gene gives resistance against herbicide that inhibit acetolactate synthase. ALS, the enzyme common to the biosynthesis of the branch chain amino acid valine, leucine, and isoleucine. EPSP gene give resistance against glycine, glyphosates are the glyphosates are herbicide that inhibit 5 in enol pyruvyl shikimate 3 phosphate, that is EPSP synthase, a key enzyme in the shikimic acid pathway which is involved in the synthesis of the aromatic amino acid. And bilaphos resistant BAR and phosphinothrycin acetyl transferase, that is PAT genes which convey resistance to the broad spectrum herbicide phosphinothrycin, also known as glufosinate, via N-acetylation. Next question, three-dimensional structure of a cell can be studied by using which of the following microscope? The answer is differential interference contrast. So this is also known as Nomarsky microscopy or Nomarsky imaging. The differential interference contrast microscopy depends upon the differences in the light refraction by various parts of the living cell and transparent specimen and allow them to become visible during microscope evaluation. For this question, we generally get confused by phase contrast microscopy here, but phase contrast is used to enhance the contrast of light microscopy images of transparent and colorless specimen. It enables visualization of cells and cell components that would be difficult to see using an ordinary light microscope. In this, the phase shifts are converted into change in amplitude, which can be observed as differences in image contrast. However, this label-free technique is strongly dependent on the correct alignment of components in the optical pathway. This alignment can be disturbed by naturally occurring meniscus effect causing weak phase contrast, and because of that, the 3D visualization of the all cellular structure and the various compartment is not possible. Next question, two different DNA molecules were isolated from a bacterial sample, and then they have given the ATGC ratio. They say that okay, let me read the question first. Two different DNA molecules were isolated from a bacterial sample. Further experiment demonstrated that one of these, that is X, was composed of 40% A, 40% G, 10% T, and 10% C, but could not be cut by an exonuclease. The second DNA sample Y could be cut by the exonuclease and was found to be composed of 30% A, 30% T, 20% G, and 20% C. Which one of the following statement can be correctly deduced from the above? So obviously, because in molecule X, you are seeing that the ATGC ratio is not constant, that is 40% A does not correspond to 40% T. That means the molecule is single stranded first of all. So DNA X is single stranded. In DNA Y, you are seeing that all of them are equal, that is A is equal to T and G is equal to C. So the molecule Y is double stranded. Also they are saying that molecule X is not could not be acted upon by exonuclease. So exonucleases are the nucleases that act on the end of the DNA molecule, and the free end of the DNA molecule. Now if free if a DNA molecule is not available, that is if the molecule is circular, then the exonuclease will not be acting on it. Hence the answer, the DNA acts as a single stranded and circular structure. I have also written here that since A and T are not equal and similarly G and C are not equal, so the DNA acts is single stranded. Also, since exonucleases acts at the end, and here the DNA X is not cut by exonucleases, which infer that there is no open end in the DNA X and it is circular. Next question, a plant heterozygous for two tightly linked gene A and B has the genotype ABAB. Which of the following statement is true when the plant is self-pollinated? So the answer is both loci will segregate in a 3:1 ratio. You can just see this figure and you will easily come to know that in the figure you can see that ABAB interaction, and finally it comes out to be 1:2:1, in which there are AB is linked in 1 and 2, so obviously the ratio becomes 3:1. Next question, in a population of diploid individuals, 6 allele exist for a particular gene. What is the expected number of alleles present in a chromosome and type of allele in a heterozygous individual and in homozygous individual respectively? In this question, the first sentence is just to make you confused. The other half part is just asking about the facts, that how many allele will be on the chromosome, how many exist on heterozygous and how many in the homozygous. So answer will be 1 is 1, 2 and 1. This study the following pedigree which can be the possible inheritance pattern. So the answer is mitochondrial inheritance. I will just give you a trick. In mitochondrial inheritance, both male and females are affected. The condition is transmitted through the female to her offspring, and if a male has the trait and his spouse doesn't, their offspring won't have the trait. Next question, in the fine mapping of R2 locus, Benger was able to demonstrate intragenic recombination in phages mainly because. So the answer is, of the large number of phages progeny that could be screened, Benzer in his experiment observed that it would be possible to generate many independent R mutants, and by measuring the recombination frequency between different R strain, he could do the fine mapping of R2 locus. Although the chance of successful recombination between any mating pair of R2 mutant is small, a single petri dish can provide millions of phage progeny for screening. So he has got that much of phage progeny to screen. So because of that, he was able to map the R2 locus. Next question, the 5 prime 3 prime, this is the question, this is just a repeat question from the what you call 2018 question paper. And what they have done is that they have given a sequence, and then again they are asking the what you call the primers in the absence of TM effect. So they are just theoretically want you to calculate the primer. So again they have given one strand sequence only, so they want you to deduce the sequence of the another strand, that is the strand 2. So this question will be solved like this. Strand 1 they have given, so you will just get the primer of the strand 1, and then strand 2 you will deduce on your own, and you will get the primer of on the of the strand 2. And then hence the and since the answer is given from 5 prime to 3 prime, both the primers, so just you will arrange them into 5 prime to 3 prime. The forward primer will become 5 prime ATG ACGA, and reverse primer will become 5 prime GTC AC double G 3 prime. So this brings me to the end of the 2019 question paper. My sincere apology for not solving all the question of 2019 and not providing you with the solution of the 2016 question paper. 2016 question paper PDF I have searched everywhere, but I couldn't find. So I sincerely apologize for that. And since tomorrow you are going to give the MSc Botany entrance exam of Delhi University, so all the best for that. I hope you all will make me proud. God bless you. And after giving the exam, just please come back to this video and comment in the comment section that how many questions you have attempted.